Good morning. I'm excited because I'm gonna be meeting with the French professor today. Let's see how it goes. I'm running a little bit late, so see you guys later. Okay, update. So classes are starting next month, probably toward the end of the month. The professor is gonna text me and let me know like the days and the timing. We had a quick interview. She asked me a couple of personal stuff, like where I was coming from, things like that. The classes should be 12 euros for the year. In the bike. Thank God it was not raining when I came, but then after I was done, it was raining a little bit, but it's already gone. Look, like the sun is out, but it's chilly. Like I have more than one layer. Today was a roller coaster. I woke up feeling nervous about meeting with the French professor, unsure of what to say. I tend to overthink things, especially when it comes to anything related to French. Lately, this habit seems to have intensified. Despite my anxiety, I was excited to finally enroll in French classes. I left early for Grenoble, which is unusual for me. As a Cuban, I enjoy being late and dread waiting. But with a 15% chance of rain, I didn't want to risk it. It was sunny when I left, and whether it was the excitement or the fear of getting wet, I arrived earlier than usual. For once, I didn't even feel the typical fatigue I experienced when biking to Grenoble. When I arrived, I met a Colombian woman leaving the professor's office. It was nice to chat with her in Spanish. She didn't seem fluent in French, which gave me a sense of relief. It was comforting to know there were others in the same boat as me. During my first visit, I had met students who were more fluent, which had me feeling insecure. The professor was kind and spoke English, which I must admit was a bit disappointing. I would have preferred the struggle of only communicating in French, like I experienced with the volunteers the first time I came. They never spoke in any language other than French. It is nice when people try to accommodate you, but it is even more helpful when they push you to practice. I don't know, maybe it's just my tough love mentality, but I want to struggle, I want to learn French, and I want to do it the hard way. The ride to Grenoble was beautiful. It was cold, but the sun was out, with light drizzles here and there. The day was so lovely that I decided to park my bike and stop by Zara. Yes, I know. Bad idea when you are unemployed. It is funny because when I had a job, I never stopped there. I used to be conscious about the environment and the labor issues with fast fashion. How convenient it is to care for things when you have the means. Inside Zara, everything seemed so expensive. I tried on a few items, imagining myself in one of those elegant and sexy outfits I see French women wear during the winter. I always wonder how they manage not to freeze. In my Caribbean mind, fall is the perfect season for those outfits. Winter is just too cold for mini skirts, even with the thermal tights. Unfortunately, nothing fitted properly, and the one skirt that did was too short for my conservative taste. I started to feel old. I left Zara the same way I came in. Deep down, I knew I was not going to buy anything, but I still indulged in the fantasy. On my way home, I was struck by the contrast of the beautiful day and my own inner sadness. Thoughts of being unemployed, having no clear career path, and being unable to communicate in French resurface. It is so frustrating not being able to do simple things like understanding conversations or just talking. At one point, a young boy asked me for directions to the train station, and I couldn't explain it to him. I pointed in the general direction, and I could see the disappointment on his face. He ended up asking someone else further down the road, and they pointed to the same place. That moment broke me. As I bike along the empty stretch of road near the tram line, I couldn't hold back the tears. I was overwhelmed by frustration. Frustrated that I have to wait another month to start classes. Frustrated that my partner does not want to speak French with me. Frustrated with myself for not studying enough. And frustrated for not having a job. I was physically and mentally exhausted. Oddly, the physical exertion of biking felt like a fitting punishment for my perceived laziness and shortcomings. It just felt cathartic to cry. Then I remembered I needed to talk to my mom and brother when I got home. I had already told my mom that I was in Grenoble, and my brother usually calls me at the same time every day. I didn't want them to worry. I told myself to get it together, and I managed to calm down before talking to them. Now, after lunch and some reflection, I feel better. I have poured my thoughts and feelings onto the blank page of a computer screen, and I started to type. And I know that tomorrow will be a better day. It's just there are some days that are better than others.